1015 FM KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Oh, baby, I'll tell you what, we are getting close. AEW Double or Nothing coming up next weekend. Man, this is getting exciting. Always fun to have AEW in town. Of course, Collision next Saturday. And AEW Double or Nothing at the MGM Grand Garden Arena coming up here. Oh, it's going to be a great weekend. And a lot of other activities, of course, as well. Lots of fun, to say the least, here in Vegas. It's going to be another terrific pro wrestling weekend, and we're going to have it all covered for you here on the Mark Hoke Show. Of course, we got to have a very special guest in studio. We're going to hear from him. That would be Anthony Bowens from the Acclaimed. That's right. Scissor Party in the KDAWN studios. Oh, wait till you see this one. And if you're not watching on our live stream on YouTube and Facebook, oh, you're going to miss it. But we'll have it posted for you. But I'd suggest checking it out right now. And, of course, we do stream this show. So if you want to see what's happening and get in the chat box and say hi, you're more than welcome to do that. We'd love to get your comments about everything happening, so get in there too. And, of course, we're also on that Odyssey app, so you can listen to our show and all the great shows on KDAWN. Just download that app to your phone right now. It's terrific. Unbelievable. So download the Odyssey app here on KDAWN. Yeah, it's a Double or Nothing looking good. Should be a great card as that thing's stacking up as well. And, by the way, we also have another unbelievable guest, and I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am. Hour number 2, we're going to hear from, well, he is in the WWE Hall of Fame, of course, along with his family, and a very personal interview for me, and we'll get into that a little more in the next hour. But I cannot begin to tell you what it meant to me to get to interview one of the greats. And it's one of those times where, you know, we were trying to work this out for quite a while, and there's a few guys that were on my list when I first started doing this show that I wanted to get to talk to. And it was in my top 3. And I cannot begin to tell you how great this was. The experience that I got to have with Kevin Von Erich. That's right. Kevin Von Erich took a little time this week as well to sit down with us, and we're going to hear from him in hour number 2. So you Von Erich fans out there, and you know, any of you guys that were watching wrestling, you know, back in the 70s and 80s, you know the Von Erichs. And of course, you know the story from the Iron Claw, the movie that just came out back in December. And you are not going to want to miss this conversation. I cannot begin to tell you how deep this got with Kevin, and it was pretty special. And, you know, we had some pretty good moments with Anthony as well. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs throughout this show. And it's going to be one I'm very proud of, and I'm looking forward to bringing it to you here on KDAWN. So I hope you stick around and get to listen to this. And, of course, it's all going to be posted on our podcast, markhokeshow.podbean.com, and on YouTube as well. So, but I really hope you enjoy this. It meant the world to me, especially to get to talk to Kevin. So hour 2, Kevin Von Erich will be on the show. So tune on in. Stay. I'm sure you're going to have a great Sunday morning with us, and I promise it's going to be worth your time, to say the least. Well, of course, Double or Nothing in Vegas. And, you know, don't forget, by the way, on Friday, Nigel McGuinness is doing his magic show over at the Ahern, and Nick and Ryan Nemeth are going to be doing their comedy show over at the Nerd. So make sure you check those out. All those tickets are available on Eventbrite. I'm looking forward to checking those out. So, make sure you get over to those shows as well. They're a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see those. So maybe we'll see you over at both of those on Friday as we get ready for that. And, of course, Collision and Double or Nothing. That card, oh, man, it is starting to load up. And, of course, there's going to be another pay-per-view as well. Premium live event for WWE as King and Queen of the Ring is heating up. They are down to the semifinals of that tournament. Got some interesting possibilities. I gotta give WWE credit, even though they did kind of a lame-o in the women's side. The men's side, very intriguing. Very intriguing. Because there are, obviously there's some different possibilities, but there's two that we're going to talk about that could happen. And I'm excited about either way, if they go that route. But we'll see. The King and Queen of the Ring coming up from Saudi Arabia. That airs Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So get ready for those of you that, if you're married or you have a significant other that is into wrestling, well, guess what? You are a widow or widower for the entire weekend. Tough break. Because it's going to be a busy Memorial Day weekend. But, it should be something else. Great time. But Double or Nothing, let's take a look real quick at the card before we get into what's going on with Anthony Bowens. If you haven't seen the updated card at this point, Willow Nightingale will be defending her TBS championship against Mercedes Moné. Roderick Strong defends against his AEW International Championship against Will Ospreay, who, by the way, looks like he'll be in the KDAWN studios. We're going to be interviewing him, I believe, on Friday. So you'll get to hear from him on Sunday's show next week. That's going to be great. Toni Storm will be defending her AEW Women's Championship against Serena Deeb. Swerve Strickland takes on Christian Cage, and boy, did that get personal. Of course, Swerve defending that AEW World Championship against Christian. The Elite, which is Okada, Jack Perry, and Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, excuse me, guys, will be taking on Team AEW, Bryan Danielson, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, and now Darby Allin, and we're going to talk about that in that Anarchy in the Arena match. Adam Copeland defends the TNT Championship against Malachi Black in a barbed wire steel cage match. Jon Moxley takes on Kensuke Takeshita in an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship eliminator match. So if Takeshita wins, he gets a shot at Mox. Trent Beretta takes on Orange Cassidy, and Chris Jericho will face the winner of an eliminator match for the FTW Championship. So we'll get to talk about that one as well. But if it's not Hook, I'm going to be stunned. But should be a great card, and I'm sure there's going to be a couple more matches added to that as well. So brace yourselves, because Double or Nothing is going to be great, and you get those tickets at AEW Tix or Ticketmaster. But it's going to be an outstanding Sunday. I know there's not too many left. I took a look right before I interviewed Anthony Bowens on Friday, and not too much hanging around. So you're going to get your tickets for that pretty quickly. It's going to be a terrific show. All right, and I'll tell you what, speaking of that terrific show, we're going to take our first break, because when we get back, we're going to hear from Anthony Bowens of the Acclaimed, what he's got going on and what he's been through in his career and what's coming up with Double or Nothing. And there may have been a scissor party in the KDAWN studios. So stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. We will be right back.
.1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. You guys out at EDC, wake up! Or maybe if you haven't gone to sleep yet, those are your pro wrestling fans. Welcome to Las Vegas. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good, safe time up there, not doing anything too stupid. Crazy, yes, stupid now. But having an awesome time here. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show. We certainly do appreciate you tuning in. And it is time. We are going to hear from, of course, one of the former co-holders of the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the AEW Trios Championship, and a pretty fascinating guy. Pretty thrilled to have him come down to the AEW studios. A couple of years ago, I got to interview his partner, Max Caster. But now we get to hear from the man himself, Anthony Bowens of the Acclaimed. So what do you say we get that rolling? Let's hear from the man himself, Anthony Bowens. All right, everyone, and we are very excited. Of course, we're getting ready for AEW Double or Nothing and Collision coming back to Las Vegas here over Memorial Day weekend. And I cannot begin to tell you how thrilled I am to have this guy in the KDAWN studios, one of my personal favorites, because not only me, but everybody loves the Acclaimed. Anthony Bowens in studio. Anthony, how are you today, my friend?
I am fantastic because I'm here in Vegas, baby.
Oh, you can't beat it.
Absolutely.
You know, why is it that whenever time you guys come in here, you never want to leave?
I think a lot of the guys have a lot of fun here.
I can't imagine why.
We just sit around and, we tell good stories, drink water, watch wrestling, and then go over the fact that we just had an amazing, incredible show that you all can attend next weekend. Actually, you can attend two of them back-to-back nights, Saturday night, May 25th, Sunday night, May 26th. We got All Elite Wrestling Collision live on TNT at the MGM Garden Casino Arena. And then the following night, we're on pay-per-view live all over the world. It's All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing. One of the biggest pay-per-views of the year that you could be a part of, AEWTix.com.
I cannot wait. It is going to be an absolutely sensational weekend. It's always fun. I love Double or Nothing. It has been just a staple on the AEW calendar since the whole thing got rolling. It's a very special weekend for AEW, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, Double or Nothing has basically had a residency in Las Vegas since 2019, so it's something to look forward to every single year, and we're just really excited to be back.
So, of course, you guys, the Acclaimed with Max Caster and former AEW World Tag Team Champions, and then, of course, with Billy Gunn, the AEW Trios Championship. And unfortunately, you guys just lost that, which was a shame.
Had to bring that up.
Well, hey, but, I'm building the resume for our people that don't know because,
Sure.
we play this on our Sports X radio show as well. So getting everybody familiar with you, but very talented group of guys you are. And, it's been a hell of a run for you guys in AEW. It's, the evolution of what you and Max have done. Pretty darned impressive, Anthony, to say the least.
It has been a jam-packed last couple of years for Max and I, and Billy too. It's been unbelievable, to be honest with you. The tag team titles, the trios titles, the biggest scissor party on earth, live in front of 80,000 people, over 80,000 people at Wembley Stadium last year at All In. It's really, really, really hard to process, to be quite honest with you. But the Acclaim train keeps rolling on, and you never know what's going to be coming next.
What was it like getting to be in front of that big of a crowd? I can't imagine performing in the front of those many people.
Again, it's so hard to process. 1 minute you're backstage going, all right, I need this music to hit, and the next thing you know, people are going crazy, and you're standing in front of just a sea of humanity. And I'll always remember it. It is one of the craziest nights of my life. I dubbed it the biggest scissor party on earth, which is the scissoring, or the scissor is the Acclaim's handshake, which for the stream, here you go. This is the special handshake. I tell everybody to throw their scissors up in the air and to look around and see that many people have their fingers in the air and their foam fingers and the custom scissors that they bring to support us. It was mind-blowing.
That's absolutely incredible. And to be working with Billy Gunn, who just turned 60 a little while ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was at the Rolling Stones concert here last weekend. Those guys are 80, and to see Billy at 60 doing what he's doing and being such a legend, how did that all come about? I mean, and to be working with him, it must be just an awe-inspiring experience every day to get that chance.
Yeah, Billy was one of my figure fed champion. Like his action figure was the champion of my wrestling figure federation, and now I had the honor of being able to be his tag team partner, to be under his learning tree, to be a champion with him. It came about because at one point we were friends with his sons, and we felt like we had a good chemistry together. We decided to join a group. I happened to be hurt at the time. I was in a wheelchair, and Billy was pushing me around, and people started to pick up on the fact how annoying his kids were, but they loved us. And it seemed like Billy thought the same way too, and eventually that all boiled over. The jealousy boiled over. His kids betrayed him. We accepted Billy as our father, and it was off and running from there.
Is this all done yet? I can't imagine this thing's finished, is it?
I mean, they just betrayed us again before and took our titles away, so I think it's kind of like that Batman Joker vibe where we're just going to have to fight forever.
That's fine. I'd love to see it. I mean, these matches have been fantastic. I mean, you guys, there's a great chemistry between all of you.
There is. Unfortunately, there is, and that's as much credit as I will give those two.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah. That's all they deserve. They deserve nothing more.
Of course, your journey has been absolutely incredible. And one part of it has been your sexuality and talking about being openly gay in professional wrestling. And I have been very intrigued by this, to say the least. And one thing that I was very impressed by was the article that you did in the Players Tribune that was out last year.
Yes.
And I wanted to read a quote from that, and because this really took me aback. And it was talking about when you were trying to get on with WWE and you had been rejected. And there was a quote that you said in there that there was just something you felt like was holding you back. And it was being in the closet and not being able to really live your life the way you wanted to live it and be the person you wanted to be and express it. And you said, but at the time, I think I knew the truth. As long as I was closeted as a wrestler, I wasn't going to reach my full potential because I wasn't going to be able to tap into everything that makes me me. And it kind of was as someone who's followed wrestling since I was a little kid for, 40 years. I had always seen sexuality in wrestling as kind of a weapon or a tool, as opposed to like a personality trait. And when I read that article, I was sitting there saying to myself, wow, I never really saw it quite that way, that it would affect somebody like that. Would you mind elaborating on this a little bit and telling people about how that affected you and how it changed when you opened up about this? Sure.
Well, when you're that deep in the closet, like you're basically living a double life. You're kind of living a lie. You're trying to figure out how to protect yourself in every way possible. So you're navigating life like under pure anxiety at all times. You have to make sure your stories are straight because the people that you're hanging with might out you. So then that turns to a lie. Then you have to remember your lie to the next person, the next person. It's always a constant strain or burden on your shoulders. And that kind of bleeds into all areas of life, just in general, interacting with other people and interacting with the wrestlers and, trying to create authentic, genuine friendships with people. And that you're hiding a piece of you. It's hard to have those kinds of genuine connections when you're not yourself. And that bleeds over to the wrestling world because in order for people to connect with you, they got to get to know you. And I wasn't giving them my true self. I was giving them what I wanted them to see and only what I wanted them to see. And when I came out, I felt like all of those walls came crashing down. I was able to connect with people more. I was able to connect with my fellow wrestlers. My friendships with them and my other friends in general got stronger. I was able to connect with all different fans all over the world, other closeted athletes. So it really, really was such a positive thing and a relief, a complete relief that I got to be myself. I didn't have to hide anymore. I didn't have to structure conversations a certain way. And I felt free. And that's basically what it was. And I was able to really focus on being a good performer and figuring out who I was as a character, as opposed to figuring out a character and figuring out who I was as a person in actual life. It was just a ton of stress, and I was so glad when it was over with. There was adjustment period when I did first come out because, it's a whole brand new world. But as time went on, I slowly figured myself out and who I was as a person, because I was free to do that, and I had that space to, because usually everybody else just does it from the moment they're born, and they're free to be themselves, and they eventually figure out who they are, sometimes a lot earlier.
Right.
So that's kind of, that would be the best way to sum it up. But best decision I've ever made. I've been able to connect with so many people and hear their stories, and that's some of the more proud moments that I have, especially like when Max and I have these autograph signings and such, where we get to, it's almost like grassroots, being on the ground and talking to people and connecting with them. And they come up to you and tell me how my story has affected them positively, and it's hard not to get emotional every time I hear one.
Yeah, I could only imagine. And it's been, obviously times have changed so much, and maybe trying to do this back in the 70s, it would have gone very, very differently.
Yeah,
but
probably would have been very good.
And when you had what happened on, I believe that was on Rampage with the Harley Cameron thing, I was watching that night, and I swear to God, I just died laughing. And it just, when she said what she said, that, that you had the crush on her and everything, and then you just looked at her with that look, it was one of the funniest moments in professional wrestling history to me. I mean, seriously, I will never forget it, because then when you just looked at her and said you were gay, and the crowd went crazy and started chanting, it was hilarious, but it was also, kind of a historical moment too. And I know how much it touched you.
Yeah. I mean, it's never been said before in a wrestling ring on national television. And I'm not the type of, my form of activism is I go out and I am myself, and I try to represent as authentically and positively as possible. I'm not really much in your face, but I always wanted to present it in a fun way, because a lot of times it ends up being presented in a very, very serious and emotional way. I wanted to present it in more of a happy-go-lucky, like, so what? You know what I mean? And when it was presented to me, QT Marshall brought it to me and was like, hey, we got this idea. Would you be comfortable with it? And I was like, yes, absolutely. I've been waiting to do something like this at the right time for a long time. And I'm very, 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 very happy with the result. I'm very happy that the crowd enjoyed it. I would have never in a million years expect them to erupt the way that they did and the reaction that it was. So that was a relief for, high school Anthony Bowens, who was freaked out about the even thought of coming out and existing in the professional wrestling space as an out athlete. So it was all very positive. It was so much fun. And that's the beauty, of working in AEW, is that they allow you to be yourself. They allow you to commit to whatever you choose to be without any kind of judgment. And to kind of actually sink or swim type scenario, you go out there, you be yourself and connect with the audience, and they allow you to figure it out. So that's, I think, one of my favorite things about working here.
Yeah, and personally, I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you're able to be who you want to be. And my brother's gay, and I remember when he came out, it was very difficult for him. So I can relate to your story, and I'm thrilled that you're able to get to live your life the way you want to live it. So congratulations to you, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much.
It's very difficult to do, and way to go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we got other things in common too.
Like what?
Like what? You love baseball, my friend.
Love it.
You love baseball. And, I know I made you cringe when you came in the studio a little bit, and I apologize, because I got a Brooklyn Dodgers thing up here. And I know you're a Giants guy.
I could feel it hovering over my shoulders. I feel the negative energy behind me. Ugh.
Come on, that 55 team was pretty cool, though.
They were good, but they're still a Dodger team.
Yeah, well, it's okay. But of course, for those that don't know, you played at Montclair State, and outfielder. I know you probably couldn't tell, but I actually played center field.
Oh, fellow outfielder. Okay.
Yeah, loved it, absolutely. And of course, you just got back into playing baseball too, I heard.
Yes. So I've had the itch for a very long time to just get back and do something baseball-wise, because like I said, I played from Little League through college. I was really good in high school. I played Division I at Seton Hall. I transferred to Montclair State University. It's one of the toughest Division III conferences in the country. And then after it ended, I switched right to wrestling, and I think I played the alumni game maybe in 2013 or 14, and that was the last time I did anything really baseball related. And I live in Los Angeles now, and the rare downtime that I had, I found myself being very bored. I was like, I need to do something again that I love. And the only other thing other than wrestling that I have a lot of different hobbies, but wrestling and baseball are my two biggest loves. And I found this team called, or I was on TikTok, and there's this kid named Steven Canez, and he runs this team called the Valley Boys, which is a social media content creation team. Basically, it's similar to pro wrestling, where he has storylines running throughout the season. He allows the players to have characters and storylines, and allows all that to occur with the backdrop of baseball. It's like, well, that sounds like pro wrestling. Sign me up.
Wow.
And it's in the San Bernardino Valley in Los Angeles, so it was right by my house, and we quickly became good friends, and I joined the team, so we play every Sunday. Went 3 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs in my first game back in 13 years. Went straight from collision, red-eyed, got off the plane, went straight to the field, base it up the middle, no big deal.
Nice. You go, big guy. That's the way.
Very proud.
Not very cool. Of course, we're on the Mark Hoke Show with Anthony Bowens from the Acclaimed AEW. Of course, AEW Collision and Double or Nothing coming up Memorial Day weekend is going to be a great time here in Las Vegas. You better go get your tickets right now, because I look.
Get them now.
There's not many left. So if you want to scissor with Anthony Bowens, you better, pony up, because there's not many seats available. So get in there right now, AEWTix.com. Now, there's another thing that we have in common.
What's that?
I used to run a movie theater and a video store.
Okay.
Now, I know that you were talking about the fact that you love movies and you missed going to the video store.
Yes.
And Mariah May just said on social media that she invited you, I guess similar love about not being able to go to the video store and physically touch videotapes and so on. Yes. And she invited you over for a Netflix and chill. Now, you are taken. We all know this. But are you tempted to do a Netflix and chill night with Mariah May?
She's not taking the hint. I am happily taken. Mariah, I really appreciate everything, all the attempts that you've given me over the last couple of weeks on Twitter. I mean, if your intent is to just watch a nice movie and chill, absolutely. But if it's anything more than that, I'm going to have to keep curving you, because I'm not interested. I'm sorry. But you seem really nice. You're a great wrestler. Fantastic. Maybe we could watch some wrestling sometime. That'd be fun.
There you go. Yeah. She's kind of around with everybody right now. She's got different interests. Have you noticed that?
Well, interestingly enough, I believe she's good friends with the lady who tried to court me last year, and I had to tell her no, live in the ring. So I think they need to have a good conversation with each other and recognize that I'm off the market.
Come on, Anthony. You've got everybody coming after you, man.
Well, I said in the other interview too, I think it plays right into my role as the ultimate wingman, because usually people don't know, or women don't know, so they will flirt with me, and I have to go, hey, I'm sorry, but my single friends over here, they're more than welcome to take you up on that offer. But I win a lot of brownie points with my heterosexual friends, because I am a very good wingman.
Well, there you go. Well, that is a good gig in Vegas, by the way. So
it's true.
Unreal.
This would be a great place for it.
Yeah. Well, back to the wrestling now. Of course, the future is very bright for you and Max, and but I'm curious about what your aspirations are, because I know that everybody wants to be the world champion,
of course,
and I'm wondering, is it soon time? Is it soon time for you to make that pursuit and go after that world championship? Because you've done the tag team thing, and maybe is it time to put Anthony Bowens plates on the side of that AEW world title belt at some point?
I mean, that sounds nice, but I like to take things one step at a time. I think Max and I have some unfinished business in the tag team division. We are still proving that we are the best tag team alive. I mean, we do have the most wins as a tag team in the history of the company, former AEW tag team champions, former AEW trios champions. We'd love to win the tag team gold a second time, but we do also have singles aspirations. I would love to be a Grand Slam champion, win all those singles belts. We've won all the tag title gold that's available at All Elite Wrestling, so why not win the TNT championship? Why not go all the way to the top and become the AEW or professional wrestling's first gay world champion? So all those things are on my list. I like to take it one step at a time, not get too far ahead of myself, but I do have big goals, I have big aspirations, and I plan to achieve all of them when the time comes.
Sounds like a plan. Who's stronger, you or Max?
We're both strong. I think we both look. I'm not going to say I'm stronger than him, but we both work out. We both take pride in our physiques, and if there's anything that there's a competition in, I think it might be who looks better. Because the only time I ever went was I don't ever listen to any kind of like Twitter feedback because it could be very crazy. But I saw one tweet that said, "I think for the first time, Max Caster's abs look better than Bowens." I went, "Oh no, you're not winning this one, Max!" And I went right to the gym and started doing so many crunches.
Oh man!
But he is a very, very strong guy. I specifically remember him at All Out 2022, picking up Keith Lee and slamming him down to the ground. That would be. I think I can get it done, but he made it look really, really easy. Not as easy as. It definitely wouldn't be easy for me. I don't think I'd struggle with it. So kudos to you, Max.
Yeah. But you guys are really something special, and what you've done is what you two have accomplished from where you were. And, not a lot of people known who you were to becoming one of the most popular tag teams in the world. It's just been one hell of a rise. It has been something very special to see.
We are very proud, and we have a lot more to go.
So what do you two have planned for Double or Nothing weekend? I'm curious.
I do know that we will be there, and we are accepting all challengers. It doesn't matter if it's trios, doesn't matter if it's tag team, doesn't matter if it's singles. If you want to step up and you want to face the Acclaimed, we will be there in Las Vegas Sunday night, Double or Nothing. Hey, we might even be there Saturday night. You never know. We show up everywhere because everyone loves the Acclaimed, and we're in demand in every show. So, again, whoever wants to step up, get run over by the Acclaimed train, bring it.
Now, I have one more thing to ask of you before we wrap this up.
Sure.
I just got to have one of my dream interviews with Kevin Von Erich this week.
Oh, wow.
Now, I have one other dream thing I would love to do.
Is it defend the claw with a scissor?
No, I don't want to. No, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But will you scissor me, Daddy?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you come over here and scissor me?
Absolutely. Let's get this done.
Yeah, let's do it. Because now I don't know if I've never done this. I got to let him get in here, but I've never done this before, so I don't know. Do we do this gently? Do we do this rough? How does this work?
So the people can hear me. If you want to do it at home as well, throw up your two fingers, your middle and your pointer finger.
All right.
Make a scissor gesture to warm them up because you don't want to strain a finger.
Okay, I don't want to do that. It's my first time, so
find a friend, find your mom, find your dad, find your grandma, find somebody who also can do this.
All right.
Have them warm up so they don't strain their fingers.
All right.
Rear back.
And
then you go.
Woohoo! That was fantastic. I feel so much better now. Oh, that was fantastic. Oh, man. How much fun was that, everybody? Let's get him. We'll let Anthony get back in there.
Thank you so much for having me. Don't forget, like I said, 800 times in his interview, come out to the MGM Grand this Saturday night, May 25th, Sunday night, May 26th. 2 incredible nights of all elite wrestling. Tickets are now available, or still available, AEWTix.com. That's AEWTix.com. And come experience the best professional wrestling in the world. And you might even get to scissor with the Acclaim. So you got a lot to look forward to.
I'm going to go take a nap. Thank you. I'll tell you what, a great time. And once again, make sure you get out. Double or Nothing weekend. It is always a blast. Anthony Bowens, thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing what happens this weekend and in the future with you. I want to wish you all the best. One of the coolest guys we've had in the studio. Have a great time this weekend, and we will see you at Collision and Double or Nothing here in Las Vegas. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
All right, and there you go, Anthony Bowens from the Acclaimed. And yes, it was as much fun as it sounded, but what a great guy, and certainly has, overcome a lot personally too to get where he did. It was a great story. If you haven't read that article in the Players Tribune that he wrote about, when he was rejected by WWE, and that happened actually on the same day that his grandmother passed away too, that he got the letter, and, trying to piece it all together and, helping get through that and figuring out, what was going on with himself, and, eventually, deciding to come out of the closet and making that decision. It was, pretty intense stuff for him, and, a sincere letter to the fans about that. So I'd suggest looking that up and checking it out. But, the Acclaimed certainly has taken the pro wrestling world by storm. I mean, if you're not an AEW person, I'd suggest, checking out some of their matches, because they are an awesome team. And, the future is very bright for both those guys. And, I was kind of hinting at them doing some singles stuff. And both him and Max Caster have a very bright future. Great on the mic, terrific in the ring, and only getting better, and certainly have a bright future ahead as singles competitors as well as tag teams. So we'll see where they end up and see what they end up doing Double or Nothing weekend. Should be fun. So we need to take a break, and we come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1. And don't forget, Kevin Von Erich's going to be joining us in hour number 2. So stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The talk of Las Vegas is the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Oh, man. I'm still tired from getting scissored. And he did it again, too, by the way. Stick around, everybody. We got a whole lot more. We'll be right back.
.101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's do some more pro wrestling news and entertainment, shall we? It is the best here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. One more segment left in the hour here, and then we head into hour number 2 here on KDAWN. Of course, streaming on the Odyssey app worldwide. That's right, kids. All over the planet. And, for those of you outside the planet, too, if you're lucky enough to have the app, well, you get to hear me. And streaming, of course, on YouTube and Facebook. So if you're out there, hey, hop in there real quick. We'd love to get your comments, thoughts. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. A ton. Double or Nothing coming up here in Las Vegas. Another big weekend. NXT Battleground's going to be here in a couple of weeks, too. That's not very far off. And, of course, WWE's King and Queen of the Ring, that's happening next weekend on Saturday. So it is just going to be a hectic next few weeks with a lot of it happening in Las Vegas. I doubt everybody's, just hopping a plane to Saudi Arabia. So we're the center of the wrestling universe for a few weeks here. So brace yourselves, everybody. It is going to be an awesome, awesome time, man. I love it. Absolutely love it. Just, it never stops. And, of course, getting around town, you're going to see a lot of different things happening here in the city. So check out your wrestling calendars. Get on your internet and take a look. And Phil Stamper, by the way, Trust in Phil, who, by the way, Phil hurt himself. I think he messed up his knee or something. We'll have to take a look. But, of course, he was just on the show a couple weeks ago. Does work for Pro Wrestling Revolver. Has that great indie calendar. So you want to check that out because I'm sure he's going to have a lot of the events that are going to be happening listed. So you want to take a look at that. Pretty cool stuff. But once again, Double or Nothing coming up next weekend. Once again, get your tickets, guys. Like I said, there's not many left, but I did see there are kind of, smatterings all over the building at different spots. So don't wait, please. We want to see you out there, and AEW Collision on Saturday too on the TV show. You know how Tony books. He's going to throw some stuff in there at the last minute. There's going to be some important things that are going to happen. So you're going to want to make sure that you're there at Collision. It's a great night, and they're going to be getting ready for this. And we saw some important things happen just this week as, of course, Eddie Kingston broke his leg in Japan, and they just confirmed that with x-rays. And, well, I'm a little surprised at this one. They're replacing Eddie in the Anarchy in the Arena match with Darby Allin, who hasn't totally recovered from that busted foot. Of course, that sidelined him from his time off climbing Mount Everest, but they're throwing him back in there. I'm a little surprised. You could have gone with Daniel Garcia or somebody along those lines, but Darby Allin has hopped into that, so he's going to be teaming with FTR and Bryan Danielson, he's also apparently having some issues too. He made an announcement. They did a little digital video from the AEW team that he's having issues with a compression of the nerve root at his C6, C7, and T1. So says he's having a shooting pain that's running down his arm that won't go away, and doctors telling him he's going to have surgery. So half of Team AEW is going in there in a lot of pain. That's not good. So tough break there for Bryan Danielson as well. So Darby Allin hurt in wrestling. I mean, and it's not that these guys aren't used to that anyway, but oh boy, I kind of question Darby being in this match. You have a whole roster. Couldn't you pick out two guys who are healthy? I mean, I know Darby probably wants to beat up Jack Perry. I don't blame him. But, wow. With Bryan Danielson, maybe once again, could he be out for a while? And, of course, we had a couple other AEW injuries, too. We just found out Athena got hurt on her last match, so we're waiting to hear about that. And, of course, Eddie Kingston being down as well. So the injury bug biting AEW again. Oh, my God. I don't know what's going on with these guys, but they just seem to keep getting busted up. And, we've already got MJF and Adam Cole out. Oh, man. Got to be driving Tony Khan nuts. But we'll see how that goes as things progress. Maybe Darby's in there. I doubt Bryan's going to pull out either. This might be, like I said, maybe the last match for a little bit, and his contract coming up too, but I'm sure he's re-signing. I highly doubt that he will not be back. But there is a WWE star that we're going to talk about in the next hour whose contract's up, and I'm going to say right now that this person should go to AEW. And they've been in WWE for a very long time, but I think that person should take the Adam Copeland route and head to AEW. We'll talk about that in hour number 2. But, of course, coming up hour 2, I can't even begin to tell you how incredible this interview was for me. And it's going to show through. Kevin Von Erich will be on the Mark Hoke Show in hour number 2, so I want you all to stick around for that. Of course, follow us on Twitter at X, at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, markhokeshow.com. Podcasts are up on markhokeshow.podbean.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show. You pretty much got the concept. Just search Mark Hoke Show. You'll find us. Stick around, everybody. Hour number 2 coming up. Kevin Von Erich when we return. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. Like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.